What's going on, you guys? This is Jyasia Kylee, co-hosting Tea Time with the Girls, here with the lovely ladies.
Hey, babe.
Glad to be
back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be back. So, what's my tea is that I've been going through some roughness a few weeks ago, and I hope we can get into that on tonight. What's your tea?
My tea? Well, hi you guys, welcome back. Another episode, another day. Hey girls. Well, listen, my tea, we've been working hard. Man-Made Productions, along with Tea Time with the Girls, have been working really hard. November 17th, Marcy Hall, 81 Spiegel Street, excuse me. We'll be throwing a Transgiving, first ever Transgiving. It's on the 17th of November for those who want to show up. Transgiving, basically, we're just be having a big event where we're going to be eating, having fun. There'll be HIV testing, music, entertainment. We'll be there, you know, and basically it's for anybody who does not have a place to go for on Thanksgiving. Yes, it is on the 17th, the Thursday before Thanksgiving, but we put it this way. So that way, those who want to come but can't make it because they're going to be with families, you know, can make it. And for those who don't have families at all, just to be there and to come and, you know, support and eat and be merry and be amongst trans people. You know, if you're in the New York area, it's in Brooklyn. All the information will be down there. Man-Made Productions, Tea Times, be there, be square, or be read by Miss Gia.
So, my tea is that I just celebrated a birthday.
Congratulations.
20 something, I don't know, I stopped counting. Okay. But I feel young, you know, my heart is young, my soul is young. So I want to give a special shout out to Jyasia Diamond. She was just here last episode. She released her first single, I Am Her. Yes. So check out that. You know, Yas, you heard it?
It's sickening.
No, I didn't hear the song, but just the title of the song.
I Am Her.
Yeah. That's super cute. Shout out to our sister. And thank you for those who downloaded my album, and that's it. We're here now. So what's up?
So I guess I can get right into
girl, get into it. We all.
So some of you guys may know that a few weeks ago I was a part of somewhat of an attack. It wasn't somewhat, or I was attacked, or
we have a little bit of a clip of it, don't we?
Yeah. For those who haven't seen, check out the clip.
Check this out. But he still pulled the blade out on me. He still pulled the blade out on me. He instantly came across the store. I was across the street. He was almost in the deli. He came out the deli, back across the street with the blade in his hand, and you threatened me like 6-7 times. I don't have to justify myself to anybody. I'm just letting you know what happened. He threatened me after calling me all types of faggots and mans and stuff like that. That's a hate crime.
All right, enough. We'll figure it out, puppy. All right, we'll figure it out.
You think that man knows better than me?
I have plenty of other stuff to do. But you can't just go around here pulling blades out on people. I live in this neighborhood. But he did it. He did it though. He did it. But he did it. It doesn't matter who he is. He pulled that blade out, and if it wasn't for this man, he would have cut me in my face. If it wasn't for him, not a problem.
We're getting into discussion.
All right.
We're gonna try to handle it, and we're gonna try to do our best to resolve the situation, right, man?
Okay. He has a family, but he didn't think about my life when he was trying to cut me just then. So if his life is important to you, that's y'all. But my life is important to me. You can't just pull blades out, faggot or no faggot. You can't just pull blades out in the middle of broad daylight and trying to act like you're gonna cut people. Period. If it wasn't for this man right here, I would have been fucked right there at the corner. And I don't care what anyone else says. It really means nothing. It really means nothing. Who I am and what I'm doing in this world is none of your business. It has nothing to do with you. I don't care about what he's doing in his world. Period. But still, at the bottom line, you can't just pull out blades and start threatening people's lives in the middle of the broad daylight. What happened? I was crossing the street here. I just ran out to get a quick beauty supply stuff before I can get dressed. And I had crossed the street, and he had saying all types of faggot stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. So then he came back across the street, completely loud and calling me all types of faggots and using mans and stuff like that, which is not a secret. I'm a very proud transgendered woman of the United States of America, because that's not a problem. So I said to him, that's not the secret. Once I said that, he just lost it. Then he said he was going to cut my face. He pulled the orange blade out and just started moving around. If it wasn't for his friend, I would have been cut up. It was his friend that kept pushing him away and kept stopping him. He circled me like 3 or 4 or 5 times. And all of those people saw it. No, how this stop is that the officer pulled over and scared him away.
I know, but like I'm just asking you. Like you don't have. Can you just open your bag?
You can check. You can take the whole bag and check
I don't want to go through it.
I'm okay with you going through it.
I prefer not to.
What else do you need me to open?
All right. So did you do that?
No, I walk with my hand on my purse, simply because I'm from Long Island and I'm in a new neighborhood and I don't trust everyone. So that's what I had. I had my purse close to my hand.
Ma'am, question, please, I'm just, was the comments, because what they basically saying is whatever comments they would say was never directed to you. Is that, I don't know, I'm going by what he's just telling me right now.
Well, I don't know how to respond to it, because what he said to me when I walked past, he had called me a faggot or that man. I'm the only transgender woman crossing your path. Yeah. So who else are you talking to? What else are you saying? Yeah. Let's just be real about it. This is 2016. This is what it is.
Absolutely.
You understand what I mean? I lived here for almost a year and a half. I just come outside. I don't bother nobody. Don't nobody bother me. I just mind my business, trying to live out my lease and going about my life. That's it. I have a flight to catch in about 3 hours. I need to be home getting dressed. But you can't just start pulling out blades in the middle of the street. He was very aggressive.
What, do you want him arrested?
Absolutely.
You're going to have to come with us.
That's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, you got to talk to the court.
That's fine.
Tell them what happened.
That's fine.
All right.
I just needed to run outside and just grab a skull cap real quick so I can come back in, get dressed and go, going about my day. I had I was flying out in a few hours to Texas. And
which, mind you, the end result was fabulous. You look fabulous. You look really good. For a girl who just sent a motherfucker to jail.
You look like Cinderella. You know how to pull it together.
You looking really good.
That's the art of, when you perfect the art of smiling, you just pull it together,
right?
No matter how you're feeling. So my thought process, I just ran out. So I had been up for about 24 hours. And I was making that wig, the one that I was making, the one I was wearing, and I just taking out my braids. I was up, So I said, let me just run outside, get the skull cap, come in, get dressed, and then go out, find my shoe, get my nails done, and so on and so forth. So I'm super excited for this event. I get outside, not even 3, 4, or 5 minutes. Dude walks past me, and it was 2, one Spanish man, one black, and the way they were walking, I had no other choice but to walk through them. Yeah. And it's just the way it was. And I was really unbothered, because y'all know I kind of just float through. Yeah. It doesn't matter if
this was in the Bronx.
This was in the Bronx, right. And so when I passed through them, the Spanish one was like, oh, that's a fucking faggot. So I'm training it. So I simply responded with, well, that's not a secret. Because it's not, right. when you're trans and you're proud of being trans, it means nothing to anyone when you get spooked or clowned. It's kind of like whatever. So when I responded with, it's no secret. We were already kind of like crossing each other's paths. We've already crossed each other's paths. I'm waiting for the light to change. He's going into the store. So he's across the street yelling and so on and so forth. You fucking faggot, you faggot this, using it. So I was like, why don't you just mind your business? Man, maybe I shouldn't have said that, because when I told him to mind his business, he instantly came across the street with the blade out.
You should have killed him. You should have. There's a reason.
So I instantly, everyone knows me for the past 3 years. As soon as I had moved to Harlem, within that week, Islam was killed. Yeah. So I've been carrying a hammer in my purse since then, and I've been nervous since then. So I reached into my pocket, and from like mace or something, nothing. I grabbed the wrong bag. Grabbed the wrong bag. I said, oh my God. So right there, this man is this close to me. I had made it up. I was like, I'm gonna have to fight this man for my life. And he didn't even give me like a fighting chance. He didn't even physically try to fight me. He just wanted to cut me. And he had so much aggression. I said, man, this is crazy.
He thought you were sexy. That's all it was.
If he thought I was sexy or not, this is not the way it's going.
Right. Men are so stupid when they do that.
I'm sorry. So I'm like,
I was upset. I was.
We finally got her.
Yeah, you should have killed him, honey.
So I was just like, okay, I'm going to have to fight this man for my life, because
This is what's happening. This is not a dream. This is right here, right now. I thought I was more prepared for it mentally, but I'm barely 160 pounds now. Versus 2 or 3 years ago when I was 215, 220, I'll get you the fuck up off me.
Yeah.
You know, if you tried to fight me, I can protect myself. But at 160 pounds full of estrogen, there's no wins against a man. That's just what it really is.
So Jyasia, I mean to cut you off. I was gonna say, because in the video, when the police came, that was a whole nother.
Okay, so let me get to the video real quick. As he went to literally as he squared off with me, and we're in the, you know, kind of
we're squaring up, right?
We're squaring up. I can't turn to even run or walk for my safety because he's already had this knife out. I gotta see what you're doing.
Right.
I gotta at least block you or whatever.
Right.
So we squaring up, and his friend kept trying to like, come on, man. You know, come on. But he was, you know, when you really want to get at somebody, you go around those type of people.
He was showing out, basically, right?
To be honest with you, it was like he was at the peak of his testosterone or whatever testosterone I had in my body. I was at his peak, like, you know, just two. It almost felt like two men squaring up, like chest up or whatever. As soon as he went to square up with me, the cops, like an unmarked car, just happened to be driving by and did like that little siren.
The grace of God.
Say it one more time.
The grace
Grace
of
of
God.
God.
That was God. That was God.
And I'm like, okay, this was perfect. So he, you know, no one wants to go to jail. So instantly he puts the blade back in. The cops, you know, like going, and I was like, no, he just tried to cut me. So the man the cop jumped out of the car and asked him for the blade.
So you did see the blade?
Yeah,
Cops saw
he saw the blade. He took the blade from him and told him to go on about his business. Now I said, wait a minute, I know
That's
for sure.
it?
Let me tell you, this is yes. I said you can go. He told him to go on about his business. I said, wait a minute, this is not right. And I know the law well enough that I know that this is not right. I said, no, he can't, so that you guys can drive away and he can come back and kill me. No, he needs to go to jail. So as the cop was trying to figure out what was going on, the dude was still trying to beat me up. He was still trying to fight me in front of the cops. So that's why they put him in handcuffs, because he was so out of control. So I had told before they put him in handcuffs, I told him that I wanted him arrested. Do you know what the cop told me? He told me that I had to call 911.
What? Because he wasn't in the same jurisdiction?
He was in the jurisdiction, he just didn't want to handle the situation. So he told me to call 911. I said, well, I'm sorry, are you not a police officer? Because I'm looking, I'm like, maybe I'm talking to security.
Yeah.
You're a police officer. He said, yes, but I have my family in the car with me. The family they were all police officers. All of them.
Yeah, because, you know, when the shit hit the fan, they all came out the car.
You saw them, like
Yeah,
the lady and
I saw it,
everything.
yeah.
Did you get a badge number?
I'm not sure if I did, but I think I was trying to get it from the video or so. So I'm like, okay, this is not right. This is not right. So I called the 911 like I was instructed, because I already know that he's fucking up all the way. But I'm gonna call them. And so I called them in the midst of like seconds when he was still like wrestling with the guy. Then he called for some form of backup. They got there in a second, literally seconds. So about time they got there is when I started recording, because one of the police officers, she was recording. So when I saw her recording, I was like, okay.
She was recording you?
She was recording the situation, I guess, and it was me in it. I don't know.
You know?
She was recording. I was like, okay, you're right. Let me get my phone, and then that's when I went live.
Well, good.
So you can play that game.
Right, that's when I went live.
Good for you, sis. Good for you. I saw it. We saw it. Good for you. I bet you. I told you this. You should have killed him.
Listen.
Like
I think
he
that
ran into the right one because
if the unmarked car didn't pull up, and if they took the blade and then let him go, and just left him, he would have found another object.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, this is crazy.
That's horrible.
You know, and it all came down to the fact that this man does not know how to mind his own business. And that's you see me in the video saying who I am and what I'm doing.
You had very angry. Like
he
it was
was
something.
he was
like he had deep anger issues with himself.
Like he wanted to be trans.
He was projecting on
or
you.
come out as trans, or
maybe he was really quite attracted to you.
Didn't know how to.
Or maybe he's seeing you, honey, coming out with your Rapunzel gowns.
Yeah,
maybe he just acted like this.
Some people can't take. I've noticed that way. Sometimes, and then with men, they can't take and they don't know how to express themselves with it.
Right.
You know, like it's just like kind of childish. You know how the children hit other little girls, you know, because they like them and stuff.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
But pulling out a blade, honey.
But yeah,
you ain't gonna win my heart.
This is not looking past the man who's like, oh, that's a faggot, just verbally.
Yeah.
This is someone who thought that I shouldn't be living.
Yeah, he
no matter
felt
how he
that.
felt,
Yeah,
he
he felt
felt
that
that my
way.
life meant nothing.
Yeah.
And then the fact that all of those people, I was surrounded. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get killed. All of these people came out of nowhere.
And they were all protecting
And
him.
they were all protecting him. And I didn't realize this until I watched the video later that the cops weren't even trying to arrest him.
Yeah.
I didn't even, like, my mind was so going on, like, I'm being attacked. And then it starts for you start questioning other things, like, this doesn't happen to me, really. This doesn't happen to me at all, actually.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened to me in many, many years. And it makes you realize quickly, no matter how passable or how pretty you are, it's just a random act of violence. All of us, we are all, you know, we're all gunning for. We're all gonna have our time, I guess.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Right, and I
It
was
happens
just
to the best
like,
of us.
this is insane. So we get down to the precinct. 8 hours later.
Mind you, and you had a flight class.
Not like 8 hours. 8 hours in total that I was there.
Wow.
And I told my story like 9 times to 12 different people. They just did not want to charge him with the hate crime.
And I heard
They were
you ask
interrogating you.
Yeah, they
Like,
asked you, are you sure?
They kept
They
like I
asked
was
us,
real
are you
like
sure?
stupid. They kept asking me the same story over and over again
To see if your
and
story
to see
would
if I was
change.
going to change. But you know, just because I'm living in the South Bronx doesn't make me a part of that and make me a part of that level of ignorance. I'm not calling the South Bronx ignorance, but I am.
But you know what's funny? You know what kills me about that situation is us as transgendered women and us as transgendered people have never ever really had a reputation of being violent.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
usually
Now
the
there are some out there that do fight and do you know aggressive, but you know a lot of us are blessed with the gift of gab. You know, we can get ourselves out of situations. We can do so. I think that it's just horrible. It's just if the cop, you know, if he was smart enough, I would believe this of what's going on because I would have told him run his record.
No, but
run his record, run mine.
None of that was necessary. They took the blade out. They took the knife from him.
They saw the weapon.
This wasn't like he said, she said madness. You pulled up in the midst of it. Why were we out there for 20 minutes trying to convince them?
Did he have an alibi? Like why?
Of course he had alibis, but you know what fucked him up? In my opinion, he had all these people trying to defend him. But what we didn't see on the camera, but we heard was she had a whole bunch of people defending her too.
Yeah. So did he say that you had a weapon? Wasn't that brought up in some point?
They said that I acted as if I had a gun to pull out of my bag.
So basically, you had a gun, he had a knife.
That's what they were saying. But when they
That's
said
the police were saying.
No, that's what the people.
Oh, his
were
people.
saying.
Oh,
And
to
so-
basically give him a reason why he tried to attack him.
Right. So
trans women are walking around with guns in person.
Right. So when
Some do, but trust me, some trans people out there are trans people who have guns in their purses. The point of the matter is that most trans women don't go looking for a fight.
We're the victims. We know that. Everyone knows that.
Most trans women don't go looking for a fight. You know, but majority, we'll say a good 95, maybe 90% of trans women. We speak up for ourselves, we get it together, but the minute anybody gets a bump in it, oh, wait a minute. You know, we're
This is minding your own business.
Yeah,
I'm walking down the block with a hoodie on or my shades on. I don't want to be bothered, and you're purposely following me to ask me if I'm a man or a woman. Leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
You know,
Well,
I don't go outside looking for men.
So this brings me to this, like the aftermath and what's going on currently. What's the aftermath and what's going on currently with it?
Well, obviously you press charges, right?
So I pressed charges. But what happened is when we had made it to the precinct, he just lost it. 8 hours of losing it. They had to shackle him in the cell, his feet in his hands. For 8 hours he just lost it and he was losing it. So they were all trying to not charge him with the hate crime, but his behavior was so irate. They were just like, he just keeps on. And then when they asked him what happened, he pretty much said this. They said he said the same exact thing you said. So now my story is, he validated my story. So they were just like, they were not trying to do it, but then he just wasn't smart enough to play his victim card. And 8 hours later, we still had to go to the DA office in the middle of the night.
Did you end up,
First of all, they
did you end up missing your flight?
Oh, I had left the next morning, like at 5 or 6 in the morning.
Oh, bitch, you did that, huh?
And I hadn't packed. Nothing was ready. You know what I mean? And they pushed this whole case off to a newbie. He must have started like 2 weeks before then, because he couldn't even drive the patrol car. You know, so it was just when I had wound up kind of like being mouthy with a lot of the detectives that were there, because I'm like, you're right, my life does not matter.
Apparently, right?
Because why am I convincing, and I kept asking, why do I need to convince anyone that this happened? This man just agreed to this. Why? So I made it to the DA office, for the DA office to say, this is too late and we've already booked. People are already been sitting there for 2 or 3 hours. You're gonna have to come back tomorrow. And then in the Bronx, it's different. You have to make it to the DA to speak to them, or they don't go on with the charges. Now I'm like, I'm leaving for the weekend. So thank God for the DA had called me, and we were faxing a whole bunch of things back and forth. And so the update is, he stayed in jail because he didn't have the little $2,000 bail or whatever the case may be, but he's out now.
Have you seen him since then?
No, the DA called me and said that they're trying to get him all types of tested mentally, because that's the card they're going to play, that they don't feel that he's mentally, and they're only trying to give him 2 days of like a anger management a week course.
Wow.
Or the worst of the worst, if he does 4 to 6 months.
So he's basically getting a slap on the wrist and move on.
Right.
That is ridiculous.
So this is just simply the world that we live in, that our lives means so, like our lives means the dirt on the shit on the street from a dog.
Unless you're a trans celebrity.
If I can just say this, if we can just take this moment to just say this to the fans out there and to all these other young, I'm gonna say this really to the haters, to who hate transgender people, that people just like that man. That
So if you're hating, why are you watching us?
Because haters
do that.
They internalize transphobia.
Just in general, I want to say a little special.
But
word
if something gets you mad, don't look at it. That's how I say it. Don't stare at it.
Very true. But let me just say this. Let me just say this because I want to get it off my chest. And to all you guys out there who hate on trans people, gay people, and just LGBTQ in general, I want you to know, she called the cops. You might run into somebody who might shoot you on the street. Mind your fucking business. Mind your fucking business. Cause you'll meet a bitch who really don't care about going to Rikers Island or doing a couple cause she knows she's gonna be gold. Don't let the movies fool you. Girls like us don't have hard times in prisons.
That's the real tea.
The tea is that girls are actually treated better in prison
than the street. But the same boys that are robbing and taking away from your mama and beating your mama and doing all this other stuff are the same boys that are taking care of us. So before you think it's cute and to show off for your homeboys or for whoever, watch. Because I know a bitch named Tamara Man-Made, had you tried that shit with that shit, you would have lost your life that day.
If this had happened the day before,
just in general.
If this had happened the day before and I wasn't so hectic with the whole turnout, the best part about this situation was I didn't have anything on me and it all happened the way it was supposed to happen. Positive side of it. The video was shared so many times.
Yeah.
And it was viewed so many, like over 36,000 or something like that. And I'm so happy that it's bringing this type of awareness to the rest of the world.
It's horrible that it happens to
It is horrible.
It is horrible.
Now, I want to ask you this. Now, did any of the prominent trans activists get in touch with you to basically...
No.
Support?
No.
Sad.
I mean, a few like you girls have reached out. Even some of my friends just commented like, "Oh, I'm sorry you're going through this," without even actually calling me
but none
or whatever.
Well, I Facebook called you.
No, we have spoken, but not.
Yeah. So
and the video
for the
was tagged to these girls.
If you're an activist, do not hop on. If you really care about the community, don't hop on cases that are only in the media, because there's certain girls that won't live to tell their story.
But my thing is this: what are we doing about this? Are we just going to sit around the table and just complain about girls being killed by every single week we RIPing or hashtagging the new girl?
That goes to my little thought about it. With what you did. To all you, now we're going to say this to you girls out there. To you girls, to you gender queers, to you gender non-conformant. Get you some mace, get you a hammer, get you something. Put a blade in your mouth. It sounds crazy, but
I've said this many times before.
She don't go, where's my,
This is something that's very easy. You can get on Amazon.com for less than $30. And it fits onto your keychain. get you something.
Mace, ladies.
This can go to your keychain.
The same boy.
And basically, if someone comes to you, I'm not saying it's going to, you know, knock a bitch out, but it's going to do some damage.
But
you
we
can shoot it and run.
I'm gonna be honest. I was one time I had gotten into a situation with a train, and I made someone, and they actually ate it.
And animals.
And they kept.
That's why
they
you make them and run.
You no, girl. I tripped on my
You don't
heels.
just sit there.
Take
Not
this.
stand there.
Well, you have to make sure that the goddamn shit is down.
I'm not. Listen, I know a
I can't
girl.
make you and you're still like raging at me.
If you can't get to
have you seen that before? Someone who got made.
Oh yeah, and
they
just
keep
like
moving.
a bear. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
like I've made somebody and they've gone like this through. But okay,
what is that, man?
I know a girl who doesn't keep mace. She doesn't keep mace. I know a girl who doesn't keep mace, but she keeps oven
better
cleaner.
than having nothing.
She does. It's right.
Let me say this from a girl who recently gone through this shit. It's a whole bunch of fun and games, or we can say, oh, girls, do this, do that, do this, do this. But when you are in that situation,
I can understand that. Yeah.
It's hard to think about.
Let me tell you, when you are facing this situation and your heart at this moment has connected to your mind and your mind is connected to your heart, girl, you are in danger.
And you're singled out.
And you are to the point where there's no one around to help you. Because everyone, you saw from the video, everyone's against me. And mind you, I'm just like, I'm living my fantasy. Minding my business. Minding my business, but you are in that situation. There was a fear that I had never felt in my life before.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, it was a fear. I don't want your pity. So
because I can understand that feeling. I've been through a situation like that, so I can understand the feeling of being for yourself. That's a horrible feeling.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that
horrible,
you're here,
horrible feeling.
I thank you. I've never felt that feeling before. You know what I mean? I've gone through life pretty tough. People know me, know that I really don't mess around. Don't mess with me because I'm really not the one that you want to do that with.
Yeah, I actually did a lot. When that happened, I went live. I was like, because it's the people that don't bother no one that don't bother.
And that's been my whole life story. Because I have never started any shit ever from school. It's just like, well, I would rather just be peaceful. But when you are facing that fear, I had never felt such a fear in my heart. I've never felt that, and I was like, oh my goodness. Whatever you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to defend yourself right here, right now. This is it. It's either you or him. And he has a blade, you're out, you have nothing. You had absolutely nothing. So it was like we said earlier, it was the grace of God that the cops came when they came. And I'm so thankful to God that he spared me of coming through this not even pushed. You know, not even tapped. And I'm just so thankful for that.
A lot of girls didn't make
yeah, they did. They did. And now, you remember when I was, you know, going forward with the Pink Panther movement and so on. This was for that.
Yeah.
But I had not experienced it. Now I'm going forward and I'm fighting for myself. And whoever else wants to come along.
Would you say, girl, the next motherfucker they even look at you sideways, okay?
That's it.
And I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I'm not waiting. I'm not gonna have any. From this point on, I'm not gonna have any words. I'm not arguing with anyone else. If you come for me, you're going to let me fag out just a little bit. You come for me, you're gonna gag.
You're gonna right. You're gonna gag.
Then let's talk questions. Let's ask questions later. Oh, you didn't mean that. My bad.
Okay, well, girl.
Oh, that's not what you were saying. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Right.
You know what I mean? But let me tell you. So I went to this event. It was the best experience of my entire life. It was an LBGT event, and there was trans women there, and there were politics. They were just, and if they didn't say that they were trans, I would have just even never known. It was just celebrities. Everyone were at their best. I was dealing with insecurities that night because of the situation.
The way you. I would look. We should show a picture of how amazing you looked that night, because I would never think that your life was just almost, you were assaulted.
Right.
You really just did a 360.
I feel like in that moment is when I can really truly identify myself as a black woman, meaning like the black woman, like my mother. Where it's just like, we don't always have to do what we're going to do what we have to do. I had no other choice. This was the most expensive event I've ever experienced. So I had no other choice but to go in there.
To show out.
And I didn't, thousands upon thousands of people. It was encouraging. I felt like I found strength in that moment of the whole entire night to come back and face this whole situation. So when I came back to, when I got back to New York, maybe like 2 days later, I went downtown by car, got out the car, and had a awful anxiety attack. All right, so I get downtown, I think it was like 14th Street, and as soon as I get out of the car, I instantly had this overly anxiety attack. and I just saw all these people in the street, and I just thought they were all going to cut me and attack me. Thank God the McDonald's was right in front of me, because I stayed there for an hour and 40 minutes. Getting myself together.
You were scared?
I just couldn't breathe. I really, and I was like, oh my God, I can't feel, I'm too far. Right,
it's traumatic.
Too far. Yes,
traumatic.
But I didn't know that I was going to react that way. I thought I was tougher than that. And I'm like, I'm too far away from home to be feeling like, oh my God, I can't breathe, I can't walk, I can't do anything. And I still had to get myself together to face what I was, downtown to do, to make it back up. But it's been terrible. The few times that I did go outside, I'm just like, oh my God, everyone's looking at me because everyone's clocking me and everyone's gonna fight me. It's just not good. People that don't understand this lifestyle, do us all a favor. Just mind your business. If you have any issues with me or me being trans or any other trans girl, it just has nothing to do with you. Just don't say anything to me. This world is big enough. Our worlds don't cross other than on that street that day. I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am. He's yelling and screaming. You don't have anything better else to do. I'm just like, whoa, bro, don't you know? I'm hours behind schedule. I should have been out of here doing my thing.
While he would have still been hanging out in front of the streets.
But in front of the bodega, right?
Let me tell you what I'm tired. Let me tell you what I'm most happy about.
You should have killed him.
Is that he needs to be Jesus. If it
I would
wasn't
put
me,
money on your books.
if it wasn't me, it would have been another trans girl. And so many trans girls live in.
Well, he might have had a track list of harassment.
It's my old neighborhood.
Because the Bronx is a very populated trans community.
And it's just terrible.
It's just horrible. It's just horrible.
So, do you have any situations, Fox, about your misgendering?
I've had many situations of being misgendered. I remember last year going down to Harlem to buy some new gildas, and I was walking, minding my own business, and some old guy was like, "Yo, that dude with the purple hair, that's a dude.
I hate when
And I actually turned around and said, actually, I'm a transsexual, thank you very much.
You learn the difference, bro.
Oh my God.
So, and I've had many cases like where I've basically been misgendered, even like when I moved into my new neighborhood and one guy tried to talk to me, and when he tried to talk to me, one of his homies had to tell him like, oh no, that's a dude right there, and that's a nigga right there. So
Cock blocking ass.
Yeah, so it happens to the best of us.
It does.
It happens unexpectedly.
It does. Do you feel that as the older you get, the less it happens, or do you think it happens more when you're older?
I feel the older you get, the better you deal with it.
This is true.
True. Actually, that makes a very good point, because when I was younger and didn't have, I guess when we all go through that stage where we don't really have it together.
Yeah.
The process. The process, right? And I think that's that's a fair time to be misgendered and stuff. Now, I'll be honest, I don't really get misgendered like that. But when I do, I shut it down from the fullest automatically, because there's no way if I walk into a building and sir or him or this purposely comes out of your mouth, look at me. I know there's no sir here, so I know you're being funny.
Right.
You're being funny,
and that's a big issue.
I work too, and that's a real big issue that I have. But I shut it down, and I get I don't play all that. I put what Fox says. I put my white woman on, and I get real. I will write a letter. I will cuss you out first, and then get it together, and then make sure that I have.
You said write a letter.
I would write,
dear sir, I was called sir.
Okay, I am a white woman being called sir.
This is a problem.
And it's so shady.
It's disrespect.
But that goes back to sometimes. But I feel like now, if I go into that same spot that they misjudging me, and I got it together, they know exactly what it is. They know not to, because that bitch will get you together. That's why I say you don't have to be violent, but stand up for you. Stand up for you.
And some
if
people
you're not bothering nobody, and if he says he's a dude, smart comments like, give him a prize, or what she said. He was just an asshole that had something to prove, or he probably tried to have her, years back and she didn't recognize it. You know what I'm saying?
Some people get gratification out of it. They get pleasure from spooking you, makes them feel better about themselves.
And this is men in general, because I've noticed a lot of the men.
Because the girls look good. The girls are looking lovely.
Lovely, yeah.
But you know what really brought me together is the last maybe 3 years of my life. the spooking is different. I'm getting spooked because I get spooked, but it's different. Like
my children.
It's not even about. It's more about like couples, or I see men and it's just like, oh, you're not my cup of tea, but you got it going on now.
I get that too.
Like you're doing it though. Keep doing what you're doing. Not my thing. But
how about if you was a real woman, I'd fuck the shit out of you.
Oh,
I hated that one. I was like, what? What you mean about the real woman?
You have to understand, if you ever see me walking in the streets, I'm not the girl who's cruising. I'm not the girl who's looking for the next boy to hang out with. Why? Because there are enough fucking men in the world that love transgender women. Fine, men too.
Right.
Don't pick your flavor.
Gorgeous.
You know we can have any type of gender we want. Right. 31 flavors, bitch. Right.
What about you, Ashley?
Oh
Have
my
there been a
God.
time that you've been misgendered?
I get misgendered mostly when I reject them after, they go, well, you're a man anyway.
Right,
One time
yeah.
a guy asked me my number and I said I'm good, then he threw a Snapple bottle at me from behind. And he said, that's why you're a dude.
My solution to that, I give my card out to anyone who ever asks me for my phone number. Here you go, and then I just block you.
I mean,
right away.
like you said, I don't go outside looking. Honey, I'm good.
Yeah, but when you're rejecting, especially men of color, they can't take it, especially being rejected from a transsexual or a tranny to them or whatever. You mean nothing to them, and then now on top of that, I can't have you, and you're gonna reject me. Here, no, you want my phone number,
exactly
baby? Here you go.
Okay.
I don't have a card handy. Here you go. Call me.
They react
and as soon as they
rage
call,
because
they're on the block list.
Because they're being denied by cis women, trans women. They're like, probably the gay men are denying them. So they feel like, damn.
You stink, bruh. Get yourself together.
It's not even. It's maybe just not.
Some
even
guys
that
are not attractive.
I'm
not attractive. I have a type. I'm entitled to have a type.
You know what's
and
funny?
they don't understand it. They feel like we're not worthy of anything. That's what they think in their mind.
You know what's funny? Going back real quick.
Some men, not all men think that, but the ones that have the issues with us.
Okay. Well, real quick before we go into the next topic, you know what's funny? That what you said that you don't cruise and stuff. People, you would think that when I walk in the street I cruise, and it's not because I'm in everybody's face, but that's because I'm just keeping my eyes on my surroundings. I'm very much, I've had, when I was younger, that was my big thing, that people were like, you okay? You're staring at, and I'm like, oh, I'm not staring at you. I was just
I mind my business. I don't want you in my face, and I don't want to be in your face. I'm not looking for anything from you, and that's just that. So let's move along to the game. Have you ever?
Oh, I haven't played this since college.
I've never played it before. I have never.
I've never played it on camera.
Really?
Oh, Lord.
So is it going to be a real moment?
So does anyone have an empty cup?
Huh?
Does anyone have an empty cup?
We're gonna I guess we're picking out of the air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so who goes first?
Shake it out.
Okay, I'll go first.
We're playing never have I
plastic
ever.
bag from the bodega.
Bodega plastic bag.
Have you ever denied sex with a guy whose dick not big? Have you ever denied sex with a guy whose dick is not big all the time? I'm a size queen. Yes.
So you have.
Yes.
Yes, I have, selfishly, and I'm really honestly, and I'm really the one that tries to give everybody a little piece of love from everybody. But I have in my whorish days, yes, I have.
I'm not about that life at all. No.
You don't like small dick bitch?
It's just not my thing. It's my preference, and I'm not. And
So you have denied.
So
I have denied. Yeah.
What if he's an Adonis, like amazing body, he just got an average size cock?
I'm not into it.
I have, because I'm a size queen. I mean, it's about my pleasure. It has to be big. Go big and go home.
High five.
I can't. I mean, all that body and cuteness, and doesn't matter when the package down there is nothing. I mean, come on, what the hell is that? A sauce?
The fine
Vienna sausage?
The fine ones with the small dick, you keep them around for comfort and cuddle buddies, and eye candy and arm candy, and
all for you, girl.
It's all for me.
Like you,
I don't discriminate.
All for you.
Good luck, baby.
Okay, is it my turn?
Yeah.
It's my turn. Oh my God, I'm so
Who wrote
excited.
these? You did?
Oh Lord. Have you ever had? No. Have you ever had a cream pie? You're a mess. Have you ever had a cream pie? It was really good. I had it with my coffee one time, and it was a lot.
Not that type of cream pie, bitch.
Yeah, a cream pie?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when I was younger. Isn't that when they? Wait, are we talking about cream pies or are we talking about truffle butter?
Fucking you raw. He decides to.
And he comes in you?
Let it see. Yeah.
Shit just got really real over here.
I think I have too. And the spur of the moment I was young.
I'm not giving a story, bitch, but I most certainly have.
You so wild.
Oh my God, my auntie Tam is
Bitch,
watching.
I'm 34. I've started getting penetrated when I was like 18.
Really?
That's
late for these New York girls. Work it out.
Me too. Stuff it.
Me too. Yes, bitch.
But yeah.
You got a cream pie?
With boyfriends, yes, of course. You know,
She wrote an album about it.
that's how babies are made. You know, it's natural.
It's so much fun at the time.
At the time, right?
With guys you trust. Well, there's a lot of stuff out there. We're not promoting cream pies, but you know, Hostess makes really nice ones.
I'm telling you,
Next.
yeah. It's your turn, pick it.
Did you pick that or she picked it?
No.
Oh,
Have you ever had a guy you were messing with, girlfriend or wife, call you?
I have, yes.
All the time.
What happened?
This guy that I was messing with, basically his girl, I text him and his girlfriend texted and said, he won't be texting you back, he has a wife and family. And I said, I text back and I said, that's a shame because he got some good dick.
You a mess.
He did have some good
I
dick.
bet you he did.
Oh,
I've had a few times that happened.
Good
It happened like that one time. I remember one time I called him and he called me and then he texted me too and then I replied and that's the only time I replied to his text. When he replies, I don't reply unless, So I waited for a reply and it was the girl who replied and then I guess I didn't reply back to her text so she called me back. She was like, well, he won't be seeing you no more. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, but lately whenever I get that call, I put on my Spanish accent and be like, you want some rice with that? It's hilarious. These girls are like, really? Really, girl? Like, why are you getting mad at me? Get mad at him.
Absolutely. I mean, I've had this have happened to me for so many years. So many crazy baby mothers, girlfriends, wives, all of the above. Who is this, bitch? And I'm like, girl, I'm not about these games. And then they start playing on your phone, calling you back and forth. Then they got their girlfriends calling you, hitting you up and stuff like this. I'm like, sweetheart, ain't nobody trying to marry your motherfucking man. I'm just, and then you try your best to protect him and not putting all his business out there. But then these bitches, they take you there.
Yeah.
You ever had?
They take you there and you be like, okay, let me really bring you together real fast.
Okay. You ever had?
Do you have a penis or not? Because I know that I do. You know what I mean? And then it just brings them together. But as I've gotten older, I've learned not to respond to that. Recently, I hit a boy up. I sent him a message, and we had that complete understanding of why we're hitting each other up. And I don't know if I simply got right to the point and said I want some dick, or whatever the case may be. I think that's what I said. She responded with a picture of them two kissing, and she was just like, "Oh, he's never gonna see you again. He's with his babe." I didn't even respond back because I instantly knew that this was a little girl that I had no energy with. You know what I mean? I wasn't gonna spend any of my energy to.
Right.
The next day he called and was like, "I'm just so sorry." She said, "I said, this is a little girl. You don't have to explain."
She'll never do that again.
I was like, you don't have to explain anything to me. You're not my boyfriend. I don't need any understanding. On to the next one.
I had the fish ask me about my voice, why my voice was so deep one time. She was like, question, can I ask you, are you a girl, right? Because your voice kind of deep. I was like, you know what? It took me a brief second to really make the decision on whether I'm gonna fuck her world up, or I'm gonna, just pay it. I was like, oh, and I thought I was fish, honey. I was like, oh, girl, I'm fish, honey. Well, that's an insult, bitch. And then if I see you, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
But even if you spill tea, they just make noise. It's not like they ever leave these fucking dudes. Men are trifling, especially black men. Out of my experience.
You'd be surprised.
They're trifling. What about you?
Oh my God, I have all the time. I have to say, boys need to cover up their tracks, and they're the ones being messy, leaving the trails behind. I had a girl call, she kept texting and bothering me, saying, Jay, Jay. And I'm like, do I really? She texted from another number, and I'm like, which Jay? I know a few. And then she sent this picture, and I was like, yes, I know him well, but I wasn't gonna tell her that. Then one day, I just felt like this bitch won't give up. I said, yes, I know him. And then she goes, well, I bet your pussy, I bet when he sucks your pussy, it's not sweeter than mine. And then I said, honey, he sucks something else. And then I left it alone. And I blocked her number, and I'm like, because she kept harassing me. I'm like, and then she found my IG, because you know numbers connect to the Instagram.
It connects to like everything.
And everything.
Yeah,
boys,
they set
y'all
you
boys
up.
are stupid. Y'all let me leave y'all some
Phone numbers connect to your
trail
Instagram. Make sure
Especially at Facebook. I'm like, I don't want these boys in my world. I just want to have them for whatever, you know, the world that I need them to be. So when you're on it, it's like suggested, you know, people like, oh, I just was talking to him on like POF. Why is he here on my Facebook? Yeah. This is for my friends and family and whatever else I'm doing.
I keep hearing this POF. Somebody enlighten me real quick.
Oh, it's one of the dating sites, but the men are
Plenty
like
of
100.
That's what it's called?
No, Plenty of Fish.
Oh, Plenty of Fish.
Okay.
Oh,
So the next one is, have you ever ate ass?
Oh, yes.
Fox.
Oh, I have.
I like women.
Yes, I if you clean and you're cute.
Yeah, you gotta be clean.
Hi. Call me Winnie the Pooh.
Emphasis on poo.
No, bitch.
But yeah, I had my season in it when I was just like, just come over and let me lick your ass. That's it. I don't want nothing else. I don't want to do anything else. I just want you to put your booty up in the air and just let me get my life. That's it. Absolutely.
That is one.
You?
Yeah.
I like smooth, clean
Ass, yeah.
and no hair on the ass. But yes, I love it. I mean, it's fun. I like it done to me, so I'm sure a guy would like it too. So
But a lot of the straight boys.
A lot of boys love it.
A lot of straight boys love it, and they tell you that
A lot of cis women don't like doing it. That's why they seek the girls to do it.
But the men that I've met and dated in the last like 2 years, they're not even like prior to that. It was just like most men, you can kind of like persuade them into doing what you want to do with them. Yeah. But in the past 2 years, these men are like, I'm a man and you're a woman. We're not crossing any other different lines.
Oh well, bye.
That's just it. And even during sex, and I touch. Touch the booty. It's just like it's a reaction of, oh, there's more.
Yeah, there's tons.
Well, let's get this.
You know what, girl? I don't play that shit. I don't play because you want me to do all this and you want me to do all that and you want to eat my. No,
I'm 50-50.
Yeah, thank you.
Sucking
Have you ever had a girl-on-girl experience?
Wait, trans?
Girl on girl.
Should I tell the story?
It's your truth.
Okay.
Living your truth, girl.
Many years ago.
How many?
Many years ago. Way before Tea Time. Way before Man-Made Productions. Way before Ghost Project. Way before all that. Miss Gia used to do porn.
Ooh.
Yes,
Living your truth, girl.
Yeah, you will never find it, sugar. I bought it. once I claim my millions, you will never find it. I bought it. So what happened was I had a roommate, trans roommate. So what happened was she lived above from me, and I went out to go do the thing. She stayed in my apartment. She was poor and broke. She didn't have no cable, and so I told her,
Short version, I know.
Short version, right. So come in, real, because it's a long story. Come in, she steals my money that I made that night from making the porn. So she stole it, and then what she failed to realize was that the same boy that she was spending it with was my, in other words, my ally, my friend, he fucks with me more than he fucks with you. Yes, I'm gonna spend this money with you, but as soon as we're done spending it, I'm gonna, go tell Miss Gio what it is and whatnot. So that's exactly what happens. So anyways, come to find out, we stopped talking. 3 months later, I get called in for another porn. So they tell me, oh, he wants another person. I can't find nobody, and he has to be a man. So I stripped this bitch out of trans. I detransitioned her because she didn't. Yes, I detransitioned the child because she was a brick and she was a boy.
Oh my God.
How much was the porn? How much was they paying?
That's none of your business. It's a coin.
Okay.
According to the fact that I went and got my enemy.
Yeah, I get it.
So I said, hey girl, you want to make a couple $100? Then gave her to them. So you want to make a couple $100? She was like, yeah, because she's a crackhead. So she was like, yeah, girl, sure. And I was like, okay. So when she got there, she realized she was going to be in the middle of a porn shoot, and she was the bottom bitch for the night. And she was going. And mind you, I don't do the type of porn I was doing. I wasn't girly and pretty, and I was nasty, leather up to here, they pin you down, tasers to the face, all that. So I said, okay, I got you. And that's some real fucked up shit. So the man was like, you need Viagra? I said, sure, give me 6 of them.
Oh shit.
I took 6 Viagra, tied her down. Mind you, we're in a hallway. Tied her down to the thing, beat the living shit out of this child with this riding crop, my shoe, humiliated her, spit in her face.
This was revenge.
This was revenge. And then on top of that, before I fuck you, I'm gonna fuck you with this handle. And I mean, she was not prepared.
So I don't think that's a fair situation because
So you fucked her to oblivion.
I fucked her, but she was trans.
but you detransed her, so you were having sex with another
Well,
woman.
she's still identified as trans.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? The only reason it was easier is because she had a mask on, and it was easier to make to think it was a boy, but in reality, she lived her life and walked around as a girl.
So basically, you brutally assaulted her
On camera, I got pictures. The Lord don't like ugly.
Role play.
This is work. What was the question again?
Have you ever had girl on girl experience?
Well, our turn.
Well, basically, had y'all like,
No, I'm strictly dickly. No offense to our trans lesbian sisters or lesbians, but I like men.
I like men.
I love men.
have you had any?
Yes.
Oh, Jyasia, please tell.
I found myself in this situation in life like time and time again. The first time happened. I used to date women. Did you guys? Y'all?
I didn't know that.
I when I was younger.
Yeah, I had a bunch of girlfriends. I used to have sex with, I mean.
Oh, I never had sex, but I
used to dig in the cooch. I didn't love it, but yes, it's when you're young and that's
And that's what you're supposed to do.
You could actually get erect and hard for them?
Then,
Yeah.
but it was just a different feeling, not understanding what being trans was like. So I'm on top of her, and she's feeling her ultimate feline fantasy, and that's what I want to feel. So it just never really worked. So as an adult, and I'm in my transition now, I'm in my womanhood. I just thought I was going over to meet up with a dude that I had sex with numerous times before. This time I went to his house. So we get there, and I'm all in some lingerie. He's taking pictures because I like that type of energy at that time. And so then all of a sudden this light-skinned girl comes in.
Oh, not like this. It's always something about the light-skinned girls.
With these big old titties. I mean, this bitch titties were like, she had on 2 bras. It was just a tip there and a tip there, honey. And
Light-skinned hoes some freaks thing.
So I just assumed he said this was his best friend, and just being at that time a little hairy, like just very. What happened? Why are you so crazy?
No.
Are you shaming?
No. That would have been the point where I would say, I left something in my car.
No, but I was so unaware. I just assumed that this was his best friend that was just stopping over, and I went out to the living room. We're all talking, vibing because I'm a cool person. So I went back into the room to watch. This was the finale of that year's America's Next Top Model. So there was only one TV in there. So he was like, well, she's going to come in and she's going to watch. And I said, well, let me put on some clothes because I'm back in my lingerie. He was like, no. So, okay, I'm a nudist to begin with. So, okay. So I'm watching the show, and in between commercials, him and I would be like making out and stuff. So when the show went off, we had actually started having sex. I had thought the girl left. I really honestly did. And I looked over to her. This bitch was just sitting in a chair watching. And I was just like, what? Wait, so what is going on with this? Honey, I had looked back, and she was out of her top. He was pulling her closer, and I was like, okay, well.
Oh, this is going down.
Right, so I was just like, okay, I don't want to be the buzzkill, so I'm feeling up her boobs, and I'm trying to get into it. My meat was soft, and it just didn't wake up because I don't know if it was because of her or the fact that you just took my rights away and just threw me into a situation without my permission. Who said I wanted to be in something like this?
Okay.
That same situation.
They do that.
Right, that same situation happened to me like 6 times.
With a guy.
Oh, girl, you just got a sign on your forehead. That's all it is.
I think like most trans, but I can speak from my point of view where
she was a
most
cis woman?
men, she was a cis woman, yeah.
I think men have that fantasy.
Oh, they all do. They
fantasize about
Our
a trans.
kids.
Yeah.
They want a trans and a cis woman.
Right.
Oink.
So the next one.
Oh, my next one.
Oh no, yeah. What was the next one? Yeah, what was it?
Has she ever had sex with a woman? You said no.
Okay, yeah. Okay. No, I never.
We did this one already. Have you ever
back in?
Okay. Have you ever ate ass? I'll answer that again. Yes.
A nice round.
It's a joy of mine. Have you ever cheated with multiple partners. So no, I've never been in a relationship or cheated on my with multiple partners, but I have had multiple partners at the same time, side, you know, from the side, from the back, from the front, you know.
Oh, that sounds hard.
It's yes, girl. I can understand why the white girls in the porns be like, "Can you dick to suck?" I'm like, it's a lot.
That's my fantasy right there. I just want to be that girl in the midst of a whole bunch of madness.
Yeah.
Well, one time, I'll give you a quick little story. One time, I had this one boy over, and it was shocking because you'd be surprised at how I had this one boy over, and I had.
Let's keep moving on.
Keep it moving on. Oh, you gonna cut me off?
No, because we don't have that much time.
Oh, that's fine. We turned it.
Oh, have you ever had nameless sex?
Oh, what is that? Like when you don't know, you just don't know what's going on. Yeah.
You're just having sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think
Nameless sex is when you don't know their name. You have sex with them, of course. It's about the dick and the body and the moment.
What did it give you?
I'm in the moment.
real name anyway?
Cell phone.
Fuck
If you
your
see my
name.
cell phone, you'll see big dick light skin.
Really?
Mandingo.
Yes.
Mandingo big dick. BK big dick. Bronx big dick.
I do it that way
No.
too, but I always ask them
Cream
their
high
name.
big dick.
Now, if I remember it, it's a different story. You see, that's how I write it in my phone like this too, like big dick hair, big dick J or big dick whatever. But initially, I try to be respectful enough and try to know your name. You know, I always, what's your name? Now, whatever name you choose to give me, Mike, Mary, Mo, whatever.
They normally
you know?
give you some bogus
bogus
name.
name.
They don't usually give you the
Now, if I remember it, that means I liked you. If I don't, hey.
Yeah, but most of the time the guy gives their street name, their code name.
Yeah, they're not gonna give you their government.
So, yeah, I mean,
Unless you go in that.
I don't even give my government.
have you ever pussy stunted to get gifts or money?
Yes. Yes, there was I've said this a couple of times. Growing up,
You have.
I have. I did. It went to the moments where it was very much, it was tired and I was hungry, I was homeless, and you had to do what you had to do. And I learned that sometimes that they want to be fooled, but sometimes it's dangerous. It's plain dangerous. I have done it before, I'm not gonna lie. I almost got stabbed for it. You know, it's horrible. It's not, the world is full of men that want you for being trans, so there's no reason you should, you know. But I do understand when the girl says I had to pay a pussy stunt to get this date because he didn't want to date me.
Sometimes times are rough.
Sometimes times are rough, you know. And I only say this with street walking. The girls who were street walking, because that was a big part of who I was growing up. You know, when I was homeless, I had nobody else, and I had to street walk. You know, and sometimes the ones that didn't want to buy, they bought the transsexuals, didn't want to buy the transsexuals, or nobody who wanted a special girl that night. It was they all wanted real girls, and I wasn't gonna go hungry. You know what I'm saying?
So you did that too.
I knew I wasn't gonna go hungry. I had to pay my bills. I had to, it was stupid, and I thank God for coming out of it alive every time. But it's so overrated. It's so overrated.
Have you, Jyasia?
No, never. Because I feel that it's, for a bunch of reasons why I don't do it. For one, it's number one, really dangerous.
Yeah.
Just really, really dangerous. Number two, I can't enjoy what I can't get a situation
yourself,
right because you're not enjoying me at my fullness. I want to know that your dick is getting hard for me because I'm trans, or this is what you're attracted to. Versus you're thinking one thing, and then I'm not a girl. I'm too old to be keeping on certain panties or keeping on certain things so you don't notice that I have.
Or put an extra light voice.
Right, right, and I'm way too hung to be trying to hide it during sex. So it's a waste of time. It's just a waste of time.
I think you would just be more unnerving. Okay, trying to play. For me, going back to real, when I did those situations, it was very, very, very unnerving. You had to. It was yes, you're sucking dick, and yes, you're doing what you had to do. But the fact is so scary because at any moment, no, don't touch me here, no, don't touch me there.
Yeah, I'm on my period. That lie.
That is.
You can only keep up with that lie for so long.
So scary, and you're gonna run into a person that likes period blood on their fingers.
And then,
it's
one time I had it happen. I was actually, the guy gave me a ride. He was like, you want a ride? I needed a ride. The train started running, whatever, New York City. And midway, we're on the bridge. And he keeps touching my hands, and he's driving, and he keeps feeling me. And I'm thinking, he's like, he starts asking the questions. Do you have kids? Are you married? You know, certain questions that they ask.
You know that you don't ask transsexuals, right?
And then he kept looking at me, and then the sun's coming up, and my makeup's all smeared, and I'm like, what is he doing? He's like, he's feeling my hands. I'm like, my hands. I'm looking at them too, like. And then he goes, you a female, right? And I'm like, bitch, we on this fucking bridge. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, and then I started like getting scared because we're on a bridge. He's like, I'm thinking he's gonna try to push me over the bridge. I didn't know what the hell to think.
Right.
As soon as we crossed over that bridge, I said, you can let me off here. Yeah, I'm a transsexual. and then he says, no, I just wanted to know because I didn't know how to ask, but that's what I'm looking for. I said, no, the way you were acting, you were scaring me. I want to get off this.
You got me over this bridge. Thank you. I appreciate it.
The way he did it was so suspenseful, like a movie, like holding my hand real tight, driving.
Yeah,
are you a woman? And I'm like, oh my God.
You're going to kill us both? But this is scary. But I've been in situations where they didn't know and I just assumed that they did.
I had that. That happens to me a lot too.
Right. This is why I'm overly communicate. I communicate about everything.
And if someone's clocking you on this street and then you cross the street and someone's living, how do you get mixed signals about what you're giving?
No, I was in a situation, this was years ago, and dude was on top of me. Like, I done been giving him head for a good while. He was on top of me, and he had went down there and pulled it, and he was just like...
Ain't always be funny.
He was just like... Oh, you got the same thing I got.
Yeah.
He said, no, I didn't know that. And I was sitting there, when I tell you, I was like, oh my God, this is about to happen right here. I'm about to die. He was on top of me. He just stopped what he was doing and he just put all his weight on top of me. And I was like, can you just get up for a second? Because I'm nervous.
I had a guy do that one time and then he was feeling on me. He goes, wait a minute. And then he kept rushing to take it out. I'm like, stop. And then he just started fucking on it. I'm like, sometimes they
nasty.
They play around, act like they don't know, and then they love it.
Yeah.
But real quick, we wanted to talk about this because Rocky Horror Picture Show came out. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen it?
Hated it.
Yes.
Did you see it?
Hated it.
You saw it?
I did.
I enjoyed it. I loved it. You hated it? Why?
First of all, I've never been a fan of Rocky Horror. I've never really been a fan of Rocky Horror. I honestly feel that, yes, Laverne did a great job. No, she shouldn't have done it. Adam Lambert should have done it. I really feel like what everybody said, or what a lot of people saying, that it's a setback for Miss Laverne, because as we all...
See, I thought she looked beautiful.
She did look beautiful.
I thought that it was...
But the reality of it is, the character, Frankenfurter, is a spicy transvestite from the planet.
But then what is that saying, that we're not allowed to play different roles? We have to be trans only?
No, we don't have to be trans. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It was a trans woman that got hired for the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And if you go back to Tim Curry's part, he was like alien-esque gothic, you know. He was cute, but he wasn't nobody you wanted to be. You know, it was a big upgrade to have Laverne. I just feel like that do I
think it's a setback? No. When I looked at her, first of all, she was stunning.
She was
gorgeous. And I don't know if this, I'm no longer friends with the makeup artist who did her makeup, but I'm just happy to see, and she's also trans, Deja. And she had did the makeup for it. And although we're not friends, I'm happy just the fact that she's working and that we have a trans celebrity.
Yes.
Now, did it set us back? No, this is just Hollywood. She's a transgender woman that's known for playing a trans part or whatever. This is her claim to fame.
That's why I said she's opening the door.
Right, so I think go on, keep on doing it. The only downfall of that, I really thought it was going to be live. And I was excited.
Yeah.
And I thought that it was going to
The only thing I would say is that it kind of makes the waters a little muddy when Middle America sees it for the first time, because this is Middle America's first time having an introduction to Laverne Cox.
Yeah.
You know, and
people without cable. And without Netflix.
Exactly.
Right. A lot of people don't have Netflix.
A lot of people don't have Netflix.
Yeah.
So it makes
and I've never seen an episode of Orange is the New Black.
Oh, girl, where have you been?
I'm gonna catch up.
But before you say that, I want to say, just give the numbers in. 4.9 million people tuned in to watch it. So this is a black trans woman,
which was considered a flop.
Starring, because critics are basically, they want to see trans women fail, especially black trans women. They're comparing it to Greece, saying that Greece was 12 million views.
Okay, well, I will say
that Greece was an all-white cast, and Greece was
but Rocky Horror
a box office hit. Rocky Horror was a cult classic, meaning when it came out, it barely got any buzz. So for 4.9 million people to watch a black trans woman, that is a success, and I think that Laverne Cox, it basically elevated her. Her career is she's up there now.
Was she doing? Did she play the part as if, like, well, we know that character? It was, to me, a whole different
I think she turned it into her own unique way. Where her tits
out was her own interpretation.
Right.
Like I was saying before, is it just makes the waters a little bit muddy on the distinguishing between transsexual and transvestite.
Yeah, that's what I mean by transvestite. Yeah.
When we think of transvestite, we think of people like Young Thug, like on
yeah. So we should show some pictures. Right now, we're going to for those who felt like they were confused by Laverne Cox's role. We're going to take this educational moment.
Yeah,
to tell you
Thug, I would definitely consider
a transvestite is.
Like a transvestite, because he said openly he likes to dress in women's clothing.
So a transvestite is a male who wears women's clothing.
Usually a sexual male.
Usually a straight male that wears women's clothing. So what is a transsexual?
Would be someone like Shauna Brooks.
Let me say this. There, the man who, what was that, Transparent, when he won the last award, he said, going forward, I would like to see more trans people play trans people versus let me be the last heterosexual man to play a trans character.
Yeah, he realized the power.
Now, I mean, we know the difference between a transvestite and a transgendered woman. The world does that. So whatever it gets to be. So when I don't have a problem with her playing, I think she looked beautiful. You know, knowing her, I don't know if you guys know her before the thing. She's she's one of those girls that love, you know, to sing and dance and so on and so forth. So I didn't love it only because I didn't love the movie like that. And as I watched it to the end, I said, oh wait, I don't think I actually remember watching this past the Time War. Because that's just my favorite song or favorite number from it, whatever the case may be. As a trans woman who think sometimes maybe I can be an actress or whatever, I don't want to play trans roles. That's not acting. That's just me being you, right? No, not even being me. It's you. They're gonna want the typical hey Miss Thing, girlfriend, and so on and so forth.
Prostitute, the escort,
right?
Actually,
stereotype.
And in a way, I'm gonna go out and say that Laverne is gonna probably break another stereotype by starring in the CBS series The Doubt, because she's gonna be playing a transgender lawyer. And how many transgender lawyers do we know?
But that would be more pivotal. That would be
that's
more
breaking stereotype for just playing drug addicts or prostitutes.
How does she? Her, like, listen, she embodied Tim Curry. Tim Curry did a great job, but the reality of it is, this beautiful transgendered woman who's already been on Time, who's already been on Orange's New Time magazine, everywhere. Like, she's done her thing, and she's gonna keep doing her thing. Her doing Rocky Horror Picture Show was not, I feel, not really, you know. I say she made her money. She made her coin. Right. She made her coin.
That check wasn't a setback.
Right. It wasn't a setback. And at the end of the day, we have a trans girl in the doing a damn thing. So and let me say this, and a trans woman of color, and let me go on and say this, she's representing us in a whole different way that makes me proud.
Yes.
It makes me proud that
the trans community needs to stop being so goddamn sensitive, because it's like we can never do anything that appeases everyone. Right. People think this show is messy and, you know, catty.
It is something.
Don't go on that show, girl. Oh, they're a key. They're a bad representation of the community. It's like, you know, we can never do anything. It's like you can't please the whole trans community.
But this is basically
that's going to be
right now. This is a historic moment. In time, girls will say, "This is what this story looks like. This is what this will look." If you look online, you don't see nothing like this. You'll see probably three gay men and one trans. Maybe she just started moaning.
Listen,
but you don't see this.
As long as I don't see a trans girl being killed. If I don't see her acting like the Samantha James of the world, like, you know, finding fame or being really, really awful or whatever, I'm okay with the girls being out there doing whatever they're going to do. Because at the end of the day, you found support in this show as a trans woman. Different flavors, different attitude, different seasons, different dramas. And so at the end of the day, for me, she's there.
Kudos to you, Laverne.
And
Kudos
she's
to
opened doors.
Right.
She has.
You know what I
She
mean?
has.
So she's paving the way for girls like us, for the next girls to come up and say, you know what, I can be an actress. The same way I felt when Obama won. It gives you that hope, although I'm not running or never want to run to be president. But it gives you that hope to say I can do something much bigger than everyone was telling me that I can't.
I kind of hope that she does, great with the lawyer job, because
she will, because
that's who she
really is at the core. Remember when we first met Laverne? It was on I Want to Work for Diddy, and she was every bit of white woman. Y'all didn't see that back then?
I didn't see it. No.
She was every bit of executive she was white woman. That's just who she really is in person. If you ever speak to her in person, she's educated. She's outspoken. Right. So she's always
like that.
Right. So this is not even acting. Let her go on TV and be herself.
Yeah.
So let's sit right here and educate people what a transvestite is. Let's show photos.
Yeah.
We didn't get a chance to
But
say.
real quick, we'll sum it up. When a man puts on a dress,
Shauna Brooks.
The way it was done, very raw.
okay, well, when a man puts on a dress to get a sexual kicks, he is a transvestite. When a man is a woman trapped inside a man's body and sometimes has a little operation, she is a transsexual. When a gay man has way too much fashion sense for one gender, she is a drag queen. And when y'all tired of little Latin boys put on dresses, no, I'm just kidding. But that's basically it.
She felt that whole monologue.
Yes, I love my monologue. You knew what it was though, man. You knew what it was.
We all know what it is. Is it time for the shade? Okay. So why are trans women? Why are we still so single?
Actually, before we get into that, why don't you girls get into that and come right back to us? Hi, welcome to the shade of it all. And the shade of it all will be mostly blind items, and leave it up to you to guess exactly what and who I'm speaking of. So I'm gonna read a quote from a Los Angeles transgender socialite that she posted on her Facebook. She basically said, last night a representative from the trans show, insert, came into the club and tried to sell me their cast members for an appearance. I guess he kept talking about how huge stars they were, that I should jump onto the opportunity, that if I brought someone from their show, I would need to hire performers or dancers or any talent whatsoever, that I get a full house, etc. But he missed me with this bullshit when he said that some of their requirements was to make sure that there weren't any prostitutes around their cast or their club if they agreed to come. LOL, 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 LOL. Needless to say, I told him that their casts were prostitutes at one point in time and themselves, and that he needs to take his shitty show and cast somewhere else. I work to employ other trans girls, not to inflate their D-list cast ego. Shaking my head. So, this is the shade of it all, and this is the blind item. I'll let you girls determine who I'm talking about. And leave your comments down below and let me know what you think of this new segment. See you later.
Girl, the shade of it all, bitch.
I'm not touching it.
I let it go, honey.
What's the shade of it all? What's happening right now?
Well,
I'll let you know after the show. We can't say it like that.
You can't say it on the legal reasons.
Yeah.
But if y'all are watching, comment below, like, share, subscribe.
Let us know what you think of the shade of it
comment
all.
down all there. What's the shade of it all? You know what it is. You know what I'm talking about.
That's all over there.
Right, I'm lost too. But
the last topic, we're
all right. So
closing up.
question: why are most trans women single?
I'll start with me. My personal, and this is the God's honest truth, I think I just have trust issues. I've been dealing with men all my life. And there are good men out there, but even some of the good men, can't be trustworthy, Men cheat, men are always looking for the bigger, better deal, it's a lot of variables than why trans people are trans women. I would say a lot of trans women, because it's easier for a trans man to be with somebody, I would think, but for trans women, it's kind of hard, because, some of them are escorts, some of them, have trust issues like me. I have trust issues. I already know what I've dealt with so many men, married men, old men, single men, men who just do it for a good time, men who just, you know, so you don't know what's going on. A man can cheat, you know. You used to say it has to be up to you to learn how to keep your man, but you know, you can't keep a man. You can't. A men, especially is from a certain age, from 20 to like at least 30s and 35s, men want to just be free and be merry and do what they want to do, so you have to let them live until they're ready to come and squat down. But by that time, you know, some of the girls will be like, girl, fucking get out of here, punk. Right. You know, I found myself. It took you that long to find yourself, you know.
Fox, what about you?
I believe that it's very hard for me to find someone on my level. Really quick story, really quick. I met a guy earlier on, like this week. We were hanging out, basically hanging out for a day or so. He spent the night in my house and everything like that. And usually when I have trade over, I know the drill. Put away the cell phone, put away, you know, purse and everything like that.
That's horrible.
So anyways, long story short, he came back the next day when I was putting my makeup on, and I was just basically getting ready to go to Best Buy, and I read him for filth for showing up unannounced, because I do not like when people show up unannounced. Trade, friends, mama, daddy, whoever, you know, you would get read to filth. So anyways, he came in, and basically I went back into the mirror to put my makeup on. And I would say I wasn't even in the bathroom probably like a minute or two before I heard the front door close. I went into my living room, and basically my purse was basically wide open.
Like, oh no.
Just like this. Like this. And immediately I said to myself, oh, he saw an opportunity and he literally ran with it. I had about $60 or $80 in there. I had like one of my cell phones with me. I had the cell phone replaced like within 24 hours or so.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that
You still tried it, Paul.
yeah, and I was really getting a chance to know him, and we were just really connecting. But like I said, I blame myself because I let my guards down, and you know, I was getting really comfortable with him. And like I said, he took the moment and he ran with it.
Right. You know, and you know what's funny, real quick, is
learning lesson. I charge it to the game.
It's funny. I had thought to myself whenever I told myself, okay, I'm gonna stop being so pig-headed,
and he was not a thug.
And I'm gonna get to know this man, and I'm gonna give him a chance, because you know you got the boys be like, nah, I'm not that type. Give me a chance. Give me a chance. You give them a chance, and look at the shit they do. I'm with you on that one, sis.
What about they see us as come-ups.
Yeah.
How about you? I'm single because I think that I'm like a queen. You know, I have needs. I'm very demanding, and guys can't handle that. They can't handle the fact that I need you to bring something to the table. It's like I'm not the kind of girl.
Other than dick.
Yeah, I'm not the kind of girl that's gonna pay your cell phone bill. I'm not the kind of girl that's gonna pay for your Uber. I'm not the kind of girl that's gonna pay for your Jordans. I'm not the kind of girl that's gonna pay for your iPhone, your Galaxy. I'm just not that bitch. Yeah. And a lot of these girls are, and that's why they usually have boyfriends. No shade. But in some situations, there's certain things that girls put up with that we won't. That's and I feel like as a strength. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be heartbroken. It's like, man, in this world, I feel like I just want to love and just exist. And I just want to love whoever and not be asked what am I doing, where I'm at. I just like to be free. I'm a free spirit.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the single life. Even when I have a boyfriend, I'm single. You don't own me. You know, I have a few boyfriends right now. You know, they know where they stand. You know, when I need you, I need you. That's it. When I'm doing tea time or music, that's another person. That's another side of me. When I need you, I want to get freaky and want to get dirty or whatever, nasty, I'll call you. That's how it is. You're my boyfriend then.
Right.
But laying up with me, using me, I can't do that.
I'll tell you one thing. If I can,
what about you, Jyasia?
Oh, Jyasia, right? Sorry. Go ahead, girl.
Listen, I am probably the most complicated soul on earth.
I bet.
Especially when it comes down to men, simply because I have zero respect for men. Period. I put this on earth, on my mother's. I have no respect for men whatsoever.
So when gay guys?
Just men, period. Or men that are interested in dating me, and especially black men. And so when I'm going through these men, they all want to date me, like, really, I just want to come home to you. Let me give you a situation. This last boy, I tried to kind of give, like, not be so hard and, open up.
Open up, right.
And I just started to realize, like, wait, I don't like this treatment. And I haven't been treated like this by a man in years, because I stopped this shit years ago. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not going to talk to me and treat me with respect, just don't talk to me at all. That goes for men, women, period.
All that.
And he was going back and forth. He was working real hard to really get to know me. So the first thing he says is, we were going back and forth. When them Harlem boys, they got a lot of mouth. And they got, big egos and stuff like that. So he's like, oh, I'm trying to get my job in order so I can live with you and help you with, pay half your bills. I said, well, when did I ever say I needed help with any of my bills? And when did I say I wanted you to live with me? I enjoy my freedom so much to be able to come and go and not answer any questions at all. So we're going back and forth, and I keep tolerating his smart mouth, and we're having our little, we're going back and forth. Man, one day he was sitting on my couch, and I just had all I could fucking take of him.
Get the fuck out.
So before I put him out, I was just having to let him, I said, listen, I've been working overtime not to treat you like the way I treat niggas. Okay. I've been working overtime in my heart to show you with some type of kindness. And I mean, dude, I even offered you a piece of my chicken.
Okay. Not the chicken, girl.
Like, I'm, boys be like, oh, I'm hungry. What you cook? I cook, that food is for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't have any, but the stores are downstairs. You know what I mean? Because when you show any form of kindness, they think, oh, I can get money out of you. I'm not that girl. I can't be her. I'm not her. Especially when you come from the life of prostitution. You're not paying.
You know better, right?
Right. You're used to men giving to you versus you giving to them. So I'm not the girl who's tied up with the local trade. When those boys try to talk to me, I just keep walking because I don't like that life anymore. I'm tired of hiding my purse.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
I'm tired of having to walk around and make sure anything that means anything to me, you know what I mean, I gotta hide up under the bed and so on and so forth. I'm sick of it. Let me tell you this one last story too. Last summer, this little boy came in, and when I tell you he gave me some good dick, I mean, throughout the night, he was just this little thing, cute, not even my type, but his penis was overly large, and the stroke was insane. Like, I was laying in the bed, feeling my absolute fish fantasy, like, when's the next time you finish? It was that good. So I'm laying across the bed, he went to the bathroom, and I noticed he had closed the door. And I'm like, well, you can't do that. I need my eyes, both eyes, not just one. Both eyes on your ass.
You just with the door.
So I was here, went to the bathroom, and I was laying, and something said, get up. So you gotta thank God for being in tune with spiritual. Get up. So as I came out of the room, I said, oh, I have to use the bathroom. So I tinkled. As I was coming down the hallway, he was coming already dressed. Like, he had gotten dressed in 2 seconds. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, I got this appointment. He's in a rush, right? Gotta go. So I'm like, okay. In my living room, before I had unpacked, all my things were there, and that's why I hid my purse in the midst of all of that stuff. So the first thing I came out to see was my purse, looking at me. Now, I know I hide my purse and everything, So I knew exactly that he'd been in it, because I would have never had left it this way. So as he rushing to the door, I had grabbed my purse, the wallet, noticed that he had taken all of my money. And it was one of them last year was it was just a struggle for me financially. So it was like $100, but that was it. That's all I had. And I just really was like, I just can't let you take my money out like this. I said, wait a minute, you gotta give me my money back. He was like, I ain't got no money now. He's outside the apartment door, and I'm in my bra and panties.
So what you gonna do?
So I'm asking him what he's gonna do, because you can't leave here with him. I can't let you take. It wasn't even a situation where I could be like, you know what? Let me just take the
loss. At least you compromise, honey.
Right? No. I was just like, I can't let you take my money like this. So he was going back and forth. He called the cops.
He called
the cops. There was no one else there but you and I.
Yeah,
and in fact, I was telling him to the point.
He called the cops. That's new.
He called the cops and said that I had him held against his own will. Now, mind you, we're in the hallway. So I didn't trip over it. I said, this is perfect. The cops are coming. They're going to be able to go through your pockets, and you're going to be able to give me my money back. So he's there. Now I'm getting pissed off. I had pulled on his pocket, and he grabbed it real fast. So there's no question. He's trying to convince me that he didn't take anything. I'm not asking you if you took it, bitch. Just give me my money back. You had it.
Find the next bitch.
So he called the cops again. And I was like, I'm just waiting patiently. But now he's being smart. His verbs, the way what he was saying changed. They asked if she had weapons. He's looking through the house. Yeah, she has knives and things in there. I'm like, of course I do. This is where I live. I'm not bothered by this. When they come, they'll come. So he starts getting a little mouthy. Now I'm getting pissed off. And I'm like, wait a minute, bitch. You're just sitting here. You're feeling your fish. Get your money, girl. Or you're going to be hungry. And I can't call my family and say, I was just finished fucking a dude and he robbed me. I need you to send me some money so I can eat.
Right.
I can't do that. My pride is too high. You're going to give me my money. So now I'm like, I'm being too kind. So I balled my fist up, back like this.
And punched the shit out of it.
No, and I was like, and I went to, when I pulled back, he pulled the money right out, just like that, receipts and all. He just grabbed what he can out of my purse. And then now he was stuck because the money's in his hand and he don't know what to do. So he's just like, he's mad at this point, he really thinks I'm just gonna fight him. So I'm like, throw the money over there. He throws the money and he apologizes and run down the stairs. Now, people in my building I don't even talk to, but they're looking outside their door and I'm in my bra and panties yelling and screaming about my money. And right then and there is when I said, I'm done with trade. I'm done with all trade. Period. If I have to hide my purse, okay, if I have to hide my purse or anything else, you don't belong in my apartment.
Right.
I mean, in New York City, it's a shame that this is like the city of like hustling and everyone is like the come up. There are some girls that live in other places in the world and they have great relationships with men.
Yeah.
Bring them men over here, please. But
You just gotta say,
I think anywhere in the world, a tranny is a come up for a guy. Except
yeah, but in the big city, it's like everyone. There's people there's a lot of men that are established that have money that
they don't want us.
Wait a minute, can
the
I
right
say
girl.
something?
They want that girl.
My dating life has changed, and men now are approaching me with the mentality of, oh, you're such a, I put myself together pretty decent. So now they see these type of pictures and they're thinking, oh, to get a girl like that, I'm gonna have to spend. So off the bat, I just want to take you out, and I'm super duper hard to get. They may hit me up for months and years at the same time before I even say hi.
Yeah.
So then it's like, I just want to take you out. I send them a link. I take them to the most expensive place that I like to eat at. So their manhood is touched. Like I don't want to say no and have her think that I can't afford it. So I go out and enjoy these dates with men that I don't even respect. But the image has changed for them, where it's just like, you're not some just stupid tranny. To them, you're a beautiful woman that I want to take out. I want to show. And these are the men that we need to be wrapped up in. Don't get me wrong. There's moments where you just need a man to come over and do you dirty.
Fuck the shit out of your man, okay? So like,
there's moments that you need that, but the men that you actually put your time and attention into shouldn't be the local trades, because they're nothing and they will always be nothing.
Yeah. This doesn't happen to only trans women. There are some like
they do the girls that
some of my gay. Let me say one.
No, they do all the girls like that. That's why they feel like they treat us like that.
They do the cisgender women just like that. Yeah.
One of my gay friends actually was having, oh my god, I'm spilling real tea. One of my gay friends, I consider him my gay son, you might know who he is. He had a male guest over, and I allowed him. I'm like, you know what? I got mine. You could do yours. You could do you. You could do you.
Not in my house.
I didn't. The thing was that this is just a close friend.
Nobody fucks in my house.
Girl, everybody's fucking in the man-made house.
Oh shit.
Wait.
Well, on that note,
in the man-made house, every person that's man-made has their own room. Remember that.
Shout out to man-made. But basically, my
so
my
we
gay,
can fuck in our own rooms.
My gay son basically had a boy over from Jacked or Tag, whatever. No, Jacked or what is it? Scruff, whatever those things.
Grindr.
And he had my gay son has like he likes wearing gold chains and bracelets that he likes stuff like that. So he had put it off. He took it off and put it in the bathroom. The piece, I can't even say it's a trade because these are gay men, right? But now we have hustlers. We have down low men that are preying on gay men on gay social media sites to rob them.
Yeah.
They're getting their dicks up and robbing them. So basically, he gave the guy head. He came into the room and said, "Bitch, his dick was so big. Oh my God, he's in the bathroom right now. He's just washing up." He lets the boy out, and then he goes, after he lets him out, he goes, "I can't find my gold chain." And I'm like,
dumbass. Sorry.
They're robbing the girls and they're robbing the gay boys.
Oh, it gets worse. A few years ago, a Trey stole my car.
What?
I mean,
they're bold. They're bold.
I didn't have full coverage on that bitch. I only had liability. The car was gone.
They're bold. These motherfuckers
It's
are
just like
bold.
You know that just happened to Shandy Moore, the star of I Am Kate.
Really?
She had her car stolen.
So I mean, like he took the key.
And social media helped catch him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Shout out to Shandy.
They had caught the boy the day of. And arrested him someplace in New Jersey, and didn't tell me until maybe like a month later. So about time I went to go get my car, it was all types of storage fees and all these type of fees, and I had to drive far into
Deep in Jersey.
Deep into Jersey, yeah.
But it's just sad that these men will risk getting to know you and getting to see you on a regular basis.
Oh, that goes out the door.
No. This was someone, a friend of my brother's. I actually, like, the results of this is my family went to his family and just beat everybody up because of this situation. He wasn't even like some random, I'm just meeting offline. I actually had known this boy for years. And then this is when, you know, the hood is on those like walkie-talkie church
Yes,
things. Baby, when I tell you they had flooded the neighborhood, I still don't think he was able to come back there. Because everyone was talking about it. And I was so embarrassed. People, like my mother's friends, they was like, girl, don't let this happen to you. You don't, you know, you're better than this. Don't deal with those type of people.
Ain't nothing worse than thinking you had a good time than try to get you, girl.
So before we close off, since we're talking about this, how about each one of us say like what our ideal guy is, ideal dream guy is. I'll start off. I'll basically say it. My ideal guy, race doesn't matter, just as long as he's over 6 foot, you know, skinny or muscular, not fat, big dick, nice, an income, you know, doesn't have to be legal. And basically, car's not important. Having your own place is not important. As long as you have the income and you
live.
Yeah, you know, you can have a roommate or whatever, and basically you're not in the closet. You basically trans attractive and openly trans attractive. So that would probably be. And age is not important. You know, so that would be my ideal.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we're kind of close to that. No, age is important to me. I'd rather somebody my own age because I plan to grow older with you. You know, so we can die together. But either Hispanic or black. Taller than me, my ideal. You know, I've dated numerous short guys, but you know, my ideal would be Spanish and black, tall. He would have an income, he would have a car, he would be open, whether he would be gay or just one of those I don't give a fuck type dudes. You know, I don't give a fuck with that type of guy. Preferably a gay guy though. And what else? And he'd want me and only me. So.
That's fair. I need you not to be gay at all.
Oh baby, it's a totally different story when the lights go off, honey. It is a totally different story.
That's your preference, honey. Okay, that's your thing. I need you to be.
That's your truth, honey.
Right.
Living your truth.
I need his truth to be a man, and that's how he sees it, and nothing else. And I don't want him to be attracted to another man. I don't want him to see me as a man. I don't want any of that. Now, if I can create the perfect man, I'm just going to talk about people I've dated because I feel like I've experienced physically the perfect man. 6'4", because you know I'm a tall girl and I like a heel, you know what I mean? So 6'3" minimum for me is just the fantasy. Race, I'm attracted to really dark-skinned black men, but I've dated everywhere, you know what I mean? So yeah, something about a chocolate. It's just
attached.
Ooh. Yes, God. Yes. So the perfect man for me, he would need to just be able to show me off in such a beautiful way. Like I want a man who's going to see me physically as a body, right? You know what I mean? But know that I have a brain and know that I have my own independence. But if you're going to be my man, my boyfriends that I've had in life have always spoiled me. So that's the fantasy for me, and
that's your fantasy fulfilled.
That's my fantasy. It's been fulfilled. You know, I'm not talking about the men that I, you know, screw around with, but the men that I dated that say, okay, this is mine, right, or whatever. You know, I've grown up being spoiled, and I like older men. I really like older men.
You gotta be a five.
I like, it's more experience. Give me a middle-aged man, honey, when they could just look at the panties and all of a sudden something starts to happen.
Idris Elba, watch out.
Idris Elba, you like him? He's sexy.
Like middle-aged man?
Yeah, he's sexy.
It's just that he likes light skin or.
I'll give it a little piece of his taster skirter.
Yeah.
I like he has to. I feel like I'm making a birthday wish here.
Okay.
Christmas wish. I need a guy that's. Oh my god! I feel like this is like going like on Craigslist or something. I'm looking for a guy. Wait, I'm looking.
Go ahead and say it, girl.
I want him to be like from 20 to like 35. There's some good-looking 40-year-olds, but 20 to 35. I want him to be talented in making music. I want to make sweet music. I want us to collaborate in any way possible, and in all ways possible. I want a man that plays the piano, and I want to lay on his piano, and I want him to touch my keys and push on my buttons. I want a guy that plays the guitar, you know, be hung. I like guys with nice bodies.
I'm really into
and big dicks. You have that
like, that's just my preference. I thought maybe like 2 years ago I can do it again, and this dude was just so big on top of me, and I was just like, this is not gonna happen again. You know, different positions. I want to look back and see just the. Thank God about it.
I love a big man that is bigger than me, and then because
so you're a chubby chaser.
I like a big man.
Okay.
I do. I'm not honestly.
You gotta be able to keep up with me, honey.
Okay.
You're sweating and
I'm just not into it. It's not sexy.
I'll tell you something.
I work really hard.
I could be the only one with tits. We can't both be with.
You know what like jump started my fitness life? Is that I was so attracted to these type of men, and I would date these type of men, and one day I was coming for the boy, and it was about that time of the month. You know, sometimes your body just, depending on what you're doing, gets a little flabby, and then it's strong, and I must have mentioned it. And baby, when I tell you he put me in my place. Oh. He said, well, how are you so strong about me being in shape and you have a girdle on? What? He was in my living room when he said that on my couch.
What was he reading?
And it wasn't even like, if you put me in my place, and I was just like,
but he's supposed to be the man. Men are supposed to be a dominant.
no, but it made sense.
That doesn't mean that
we should be sloppy.
Right, it made sense to me because I felt sloppy.
Some women have a shame, you know.
I felt sloppy, and right then and there I was just like, you know what, I can be better than I am, and that's when I went on this journey of getting it together. Because now these type of men that I'm attracted to are always really truly attracted to me. Without a doubt, they're just like, oh, it's a whole different type of interaction, because now we can speak about fitness, which these type of men are really attracted to.
Yes.
They may go home to their chubby wife, honey, but they're fantasizing while they're in the gym to be with, you know, these gym weirdos. So it's definitely a fantasy fulfilled, you know. So, but on that note,
as we like to say,
so that was a great episode.
Okay.
You know, we did great. We had a lot to talk about.
Thank you for coming back.
Thank you so much for telling your story.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It really was a
lot of fun to sit here.
And as we normally say, if you can't be real, at least be real with yourself.
There you go.